and I remember he got very upset over, I think the Eagles covered or something because he bet on the game. And I said, dude, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Well, you should care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't watch football for that reason.
We got to get him on post game. Jeff, welcome to the show, man. Make sure you guys follow Jeff at Jeff Kerr CBS. Speaking of following you, Jeff, I absolutely love the thing you're doing on your X of overreaction or reality. I thought you put up some great stuff yesterday. We'll get into some of that. Just your first reaction, though, to the 10-7 victory in Green Bay last night for the Eagles.
Win is a win is a win.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for getting up, Jeff. And second of all, yeah, I need somebody to take the heavy lifting off, so I appreciate it. But, boy, I mean, yeah, it was an ugly offensive performance, but it doesn't surprise you when these offensive performances crop up. I guess that's what I struggle with.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen this before, have we not?
Yeah, I mean, look, think of the worst offensive performance you can think of. Now magnify it because it's like 5 degrees out in Green Bay, or at least it feels like 5 degrees out. I saw it when I saw 2 Packers drops. I'm like, the ball ain't going downfield today, boys. With the wind and just everything going on. And look,
except when it's 4th and 6 at the end of the game.
That's the head scratching move to me. And look, I was trying to even justify that play in my head,
You, that
and I couldn't do
trying
it.
to throw AJ a bone. I'm telling you, man, they were. That's what it felt like to me because it was so. Nick, even when he's aggressive, there's normally like a path to like, okay, you can understand why he's doing that. You know what I mean? There was no explanation for why.
I'm just saying to myself, punt the football. Just punt it. They're not going to kick a 60-yard field goal to beat you, so don't make it easier for them. Just punt the football, take your win, and go home.
Yeah, I agree. It was
weird.
It was a brain.
And the explanation is, well, we've done this before. Not in that situation. You've done it aggressively, but the weather was better. There was a reason to go man. And look,
plus, I mean, all of it factors. The game matters. So you're doing it in game. You are in this tough environment. It's going to be tougher to kick. The weather is what the weather is. Yeah, just punt the football and get the hell out of there.
Quite honestly, I was kind of hoping the Packers would be stupider than Nick and pick it.
Well,
that's actually true. If they picked it, that would have been agreed.
I was thinking in my head. So this is what I was thinking. Like after I was trying to process that wasn't a punt, I'm like, well, okay, if you're actually going to run a play, you might as well just run AJ Brown on the go route, throw it in the end zone. He either A, catches it, B, pass interference, or C, they pick it off. And of course, D happened, just incomplete.
Well, and maybe that's that's a fair way to look at it. If you're Nick, maybe that is the explanation for it. Jeff, let's start on the defensive side because there's obviously a lot more positive there than the offensive side. Boy, Jalen Phillips, what wonders he has done for this defense. Jeff, this defense, man, they are well ahead of schedule, and they look like they could be a unit in this second half of the year. They are really starting to gel. And by the way, I think it helps those cornerbacks tremendously to have a pass rusher like Jalen Phillips, who makes everybody on that defensive line better. What'd you see from the Eagles' defense yesterday?
I was more than impressed with Jalen Phillips, with Nakobe Dean, Zach Bond. I thought Dory Jackson had a good game too. I got to look at his numbers, but
I thought he was solid. I was surprised that he was out there, but I thought he was solid.
Yeah, when he got banged up late in that game, I was like, this could be a problem. But I didn't think I'd ever say that about Dory Jackson this season. But yeah, going back to Jalen Phillips, Zander, I mean, just what Jalen Carr and Moro Jomo were able to open up for him really set the tone for this defense the entire night. And I just thought early on, you're like, okay, he's going to get in the backfield a lot. It's just what impact he's going to make. He had the fumble recovery, 2 quarterback hits, obviously the 4-for-1 play. The Eagles defense read like a book. I can't believe the Packers are that arrogant they can't do a quarterback sneak on a 4-for-1 with Jordan Love. But hey, you know what? When when you want to ban something, you kind of try not to be
Oh, don't
hypocritical.
get with the ban. Stop with the ban. They don't give a
They're,
shit.
they're not even the ones who really banned it, if I'm going to be
No,
honest. The
they had
NFL told
nothing.
them to do it.
Yes, exactly. You know what? The only reason I get frustrated with that is because it's even more than fans. Fans I get, but media people, come on, you guys. I'm talking to the national guys. You got to know by now how the NFL does business. If you don't, you shouldn't be doing.
Well,
That,
you know what upset me about the whole narrative thing last night? They wanted to show the false start on the Eagles thing. I'm like, okay, well, the Packers just did it earlier. Why aren't there clips of that from the content creators and
yeah.
the media people? Like, oh, by the way, they miss
All right.
everything.
Jeff's pissing me off already because now he's on this. I'm like, they miss ball starts on both. Who gives a
Yeah,
shit?
exactly. And that's all I wanted to point out. I didn't even put that in my overreaction, Tanner, because I could care less. I wanted to talk about an actual football game, not what was going on. But
I want to talk
I,
about Jalen. I want to talk about Jalen Phillips because Jalen Phillips shows up. Now he has a history with Big Fangio.
a good history.
So yeah, he arguably played his best football in Miami with Vic Fangio. Hits the ground running, plays over 50 snaps. I thought he'd be in the 35-40 range. He's
I
over
did too.
50.
But boy, I undersold him yesterday.
Yeah. And he was a difference maker basically from the get-go. And to me, everything falls into place on that defensive front with him here. And Nolan Smith, as he gets healthier, he's going to play more. I think Jalen Hunt fits in as a good third option. And then Brandon played over Josh Uche. And Jahad Campbell played. Maybe that's where they're going to get Jahad. But I don't agree with that. Josh Uche is the one thing. Vic, if you're listening, man, Josh Uche deserves to be out there. But we're talking 10 snaps.
And they're going to need Josh Uche again at some point this season.
Boy, you would think. You would think. So that part of it, I don't agree. But just Jalen Phillips as a whole, because he did everything. He's known as a pass rusher, but he's setting the edge. He's doing everything. On that fourth down play to Jacobs, where they just snipped it out, and evidently it was Moro Ojomo playing Luke Kuechly and just calling the play out before it happened. He just obliterated that play. Could it have gone much better for Jalen Phillips?
No, by the way, that's no Swiss cheese he's facing at right tackle either.
I know.
Well,
it helps. It does
impressive.
On that play. It helps when you know what's coming. But
yeah. That's true. I don't care who you are if you know the play. You know the play. But I'm still trying to process how Jordan Love had plenty of time to kind of audible that, and he didn't.
Well, hey, I don't know, but
it's not. Look, I'm not blaming Jordan Love.
Yeah, I'm going to blame Matt LaFleur for that.
I am too. Yeah. It's Jordan Love. I always say he's the guy who gets way too much praise and he gets way too much criticism, like most quarterbacks. And I'm just like, look, Jordan Love had a chance to tie that game, and they took the ball out of his hands.
Well, the whole point of that play was tempo. So I mean, you don't want to waste time. You want to go right away. But
yeah,
the Eagles knew what was coming because it was the fourth time they did it. So, the Eagles aren't the only team that does something again and again and again. If it
Sean McVay's very predictable. They're all predictable. Kevin O'Connell's predictable. I mean, look, this is why I'm kind of like trying not to overanalyze this game. It's like if someone had told you the Eagles were going to win in Green Bay back in May, you would have taken that, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. I absolutely.
If you win in Green Bay, I think any team would take it, no matter when it is.
Jeff, is this offense though this year? I mean, let's just go to the offense for a little bit. Has this offense showed you in 9 games? Like, I get it's up and down. I get it's week to week. It just doesn't look good to me. It doesn't look like a team that could go back to the Super Bowl.
They're fine. I just keep, and I'm gonna go with John here because John and I both know this. It's risk averse for a reason. They are not going to beat themselves. They're just not going to do it. They're going to let other teams do it. I thought they really got conservative after Jalen fumbled the football, which I'm still amazed he didn't slide at the end of that play, but I digress. But they are not going to throw the ball downfield because that leads to an interception. They are not going to go have this sexy offense because winning is sexy, not how you look is sexy. So in their minds, they're doing whatever they can to make sure they win the football game. Teams beat themselves in the NFL every single week. The Packers did it last night. And the Eagles and Packers tied in the giveaway takeaway battle. But the Eagles were able to come up on top because they were able to make the stop they needed to make, and the Packers didn't. Simple as that.
Yeah, the Packers have been generally very good taking care of the football this season.
Yeah, they have.
So
they don't get a
far.
lot of takeaways, which
Yeah.
is
They have.
I think they only have 6 or something like that.
So how do you evaluate Petula? Are you good with what he's done? I mean, is it what you expect? Do you think he can be better? Is there anything left to be desired?
He could
there?
definitely be better. He could definitely be better. It's just I hate to use the week-to-week league phrase, but it's true. It's a week-to-week league. Like just because they look like this week in 5-degree weather,
I'm gonna guarantee they look better offensively against.
I will too. I'm going to guarantee
that. It's kind of easy to guarantee that, considering their output last night.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it last night was just. I didn't expect
games have personalities. Games have personalities.
Here's my problem. Well, not my problem, but this is my concern with the offense. I understand risk averse. This year, we have seen such a small sample size of an effective running game that if you do get into a situation, that's my concern. Last year was the same conversations about the passing game, the same ones with Kellen Moore, with Kevin Petula. Last year, they had a great running game. This year, we have one game in 9 where they've run the ball to a level that they would probably deem acceptable or can
I
make
do
up
think
for
the
a lot
Packers
of applause.
defense deserves some credit here.
Oh,
too.
absolutely.
That Packers defense is Super Bowl caliber. They're good enough to win a Super Bowl with that defense.
Plus, Jeff, this team's game planning for Micah Parsons. So when people, what frustrated me most about talking about this game post game is these. What is it called, Zander? The coward draw.
That's what Brandon Legal calls it, not what I call it.
Well, I'll yell at BLG tomorrow, hopefully. But what?
So you want him to throw a pass, potentially get picked, get fumbled, whatever can happen on a throw. Again, I'll never understand the coward draw or the conservative play. You know what? Save it, content creators. Just save it.
Well,
and I like content creators.
My only point is the 600-point Denver Broncos I brought up earlier. They ran draw plays. It's not a unique play in the NFL, especially when you're facing a pass rusher like Micah Parsons. A lot of teams do it when you're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14. So I'll ask you this, and Zach Berman put this up, so thanks to Zach. So the Eagles had 6 plays of 3rd and 8 or more in this game. First one, 3rd and 8, Jalen Hurts run. 3rd and 10, short pass to Will Shipley. 3rd and 11 was a Hurts scramble, so they were trying to throw it. 3rd and 12 was a Shipley draw. 3rd and 14 was a Shipley draw. And by the way, Shipley's playing on 3rd down because Saquon can't pass protect, by the way. That's why he's out there. And 3rd and 15, another short swing pass to Will Shipley.
And if I'm correct on this, I think a lot of this was with the swirling wind and the wind was in their face.
Well, but my main point is that more of risk averse, which is part risk averse, or more Micah Parsons. That
both.
It all went down.
How about both?
Yeah, that's usually.
I think a lot of it is we're not letting Micah Parsons take over this football game, and we know he can take over this football game. You notice Michael Parsons did not take over the football game last night.
No, he did not.
Yeah, he had a solid game, and Micah was right. Their defense played well, but he did not have the impact Jalen Phillips did.
All right, so Jeff, if we're accepting the risk-averse approach, which we all understand, this is what they've done now for for the better part of
Yeah,
really
it's
multiple.
frustrating, guys. I
No,
do get it.
but here's my
Yeah,
question to you.
yeah,
Because I don't want to say I don't understand that. Last night I was
yeah,
not in a good mood
yeah,
about the Eagles
yeah.
offense.
But no, but that's
To
talking
say the
about the
least.
fans, right? Right.
But
I get the
do you
fan
think this, Jeff?
frustration here.
Do you think the risk-averse approach could end up costing them in a game where the stakes are higher? Maybe the competition is playing differently than they did last night. Last night, the personality of the game, as John would point out, very defensive game. Yards are at a premium, almost had that playoff feel. Do you think that risk-averse approach could bite them in the ass, for lack of a better word?
I mean, hasn't yet, and we've gotten this since week 6 of last season. So it can. I mean, it obviously can shift the other way. The Eagles won a lot of one-score games this year. I think what are they, John? Like 6-1 and one-score games or something
Yeah,
like that.
well, and the Rams game obviously being the most notable. I mean, you're
Yeah.
playing with fire if you're expecting a blocked field goal to win you a game. But hey, they find ways to win. You do have to give them credit to that standpoint. But yeah, hey, that's been my biggest criticism of this approach since day one is you're decreasing the margin of error by playing this way. But
Yeah, and you know what? And that's where I know I don't like to bring it up here, but that is where the 2023 ghosts come in, right? Because they were playing like this and winning games like this, but that was such a different scenario because this
that
defense is
yeah,
that
that
defense was
defense
nowhere
was not.
close to
Yeah.
this defense. Like
It's interesting. The
yeah,
funny part is that offense played better than this offense,
correct.
but
They
that
were top 10
defense,
offense that year, and they
yeah,
wanted the coordinator fired.
yeah, but that defense was an abomination. With Sean Desai, and he got even worse with Matt Patricia, who, by the way, is doing a great job with Ohio State at the college
Matt
level.
Patricia's a good coach. It's just
Yeah,
didn't
but
work
you don't change that mid-season. You don't.
correct.
That was the problem.
That wasn't even mid-season, John. That was
No,
4
that
games
was
left.
later. And by the way, that was at the bye week, and when Nick started thinking about it, and it's like, dude,
Yeah,
oof.
I still
That's
say
his worst decision as a head coach, by the way.
yeah, but my take after that Seattle game they blew, I said they do not blow this game. They win this game. As Sean Desai was their head, it was their defensive coordinator, and
Not that Sean should have been fired after the season, but you just don't fire him in season.
yeah, and you keep
Just
him
made things
around.
worse.
Like wasn't he
And
moved to the
they
press
didn't
box or
fire.
something?
They demoted him. Yeah, I shouldn't say
Which is
fired.
worse than getting fired.
Yeah, which is dumb. By the way, numbers are out. Micah had 7 hurries yesterday.
He's made an impact.
They had 13 total. He had 7 of them.
Yeah, I'm actually going up on it now. Let's see. Yeah, 7 hurries. Yeah, there it is. Let's see here. And Packers,
That was one of the best plays.
Micah Parsons had a 38 pressure rate yesterday. 38.5% according to True Media.
That was one of the best plays of the game early. I think it might have been the first drive where Micah Parsons was rushing on 3rd down.
Oh my God.
And Jalen rolled out, found Will Shipley. That was a freaking amazing play, man.
Freaking Jaelan avoided him like 3-4 times in the first half.
Yeah.
Where
Jalen's ability on 3rd down is unbelievable. And John, maybe that's some of the reason that I get so frustrated at the draw. I get it. It's a common play. I understand they're playing risk averse, but man, I've also seen Jalen make a lot of fucking plays on 3rd down in his day, man, in his career. I mean, he is an amazing 3rd down.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I bring up the Micah effect, because they're playing differently than if they're playing
I get that.
else.
But there was an example of Micah making an impact. Being able to make a play.
You saw the one where he was chasing him down and Jalen had the angle. There are very few people in this league who are going to eliminate that angle, and Micah did.
Yes, he did.
And two reside in the NFC East that can do it.
Micah, well, no, not Micah anymore. Who?
Jalen. Well, I'm talking about quarterbacks that can. Jalen and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Jaden and Jalen. Yeah.
Well, I think I don't know if he can outrun Jaden, but I know he can outrun Jalen, which is freakish, by the way, for a defensive end, outside linebacker, edge defender.
I mean, there's a reason why I was really on the Cowboys for trading him. I'm like, you just don't trade players like that. You don't.
Yeah, I just think nobody looks at the opponent. Like, they're doing that for a reason.
Yeah.
because they don't want him pinning his freaking ears back and just saying,
And,
"Hey,
and you know
we're
what? They're
throwing
going
the
to game
ball."
plan. They're going to game plan for Aiden Hutchinson on Sunday too. Wait till you see the impact he's going to make.
John, can you, John, coming to you here, can you opine? I know you're explaining what they're doing, but can you opine on, like, is it too much that they play into their opponent? Like, it is a little bit of a let the game dictate to you instead of you
I think they
imposing your
do.
will on the game. Versus when I think, at some level, you should impose your will. You should dictate how the game is played instead of letting every circumstance dictate what you do, is my perspective on that. Can you give your opinion on that? And I know that that's what they do. I get you've explained that to me 1,000 times, whether I hear it or not.
Well,
every
they're
Mhm.
very few players they treat like Micah Parsons. Very few. And to the point I've said many times, I think there's a little bit too much hubris for this team. I don't think they game plan specific enough on a normal week. But there are certain guys they are not going allowed to take over the game defensively from an offensive standpoint. Aaron Donald was one of them I bring up all the time. Myles Garrett is one of them. Micah Parsons is one of them. Those are the three I've confirmed. Aiden Hutchinson's a good. I don't know if they're going to treat him the same way.
I thought when he was on the Vikings, Danielle Hunter was one of those players.
Danielle Hunter,
Yeah,
I've
Danielle
never.
Hunter. I don't know why I just said Danielle. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's early, guys.
I
was
well,
like,
yeah,
wait a minute.
because it's spelled like Dan. A lot of people do that. I've done that.
Yeah,
in the past,
Danielle. Yeah,
but
you know what it is? He's on the Texans now, so I forget how to say his name.
that
That's
dude
where he
looks.
is, right? Texans, yeah.
That dude looks like a cyborg, and he plays like a cyborg. He's
He's a
a very good
beast.
player.
I love him.
But I've never heard them talk about him the way they talk about Micah or Miles. He's a very good player, but
Yeah.
you're talking about really rarefied air when you're talking.
There's a
about
reason why the Eagles try to get these guys, by the
Yeah.
way.
And look, they weren't going to let him take over the game. So I think it changes even for a guy like Hutchinson, even for a guy like Hunter. They don't. Then they say, you know what? We got Lane Johnson. We have Jordan Mailata. In those type situations. But with those two particular players and Aaron Donald inside back in the day, with those three particular players, they will never let them take over the game ever.
No, all are going to be first ballot Hall of Famers.
And every other team,
well on his way.
Every other team, they're kind of like cocky. They're kind of like, we don't have to help our tackles.
Yeah, right.
We have the advantage.
Do you think different player, maybe they would impose their will a little more, or at least try to impose their will?
Oh,
yeah.
no doubt.
I actually love what the Eagles do. We are not going to let Micah Parsons take over this football game because he's one guy that can take over this football.
Yeah, I mean, look, Jalen had 0 sacks yesterday. That's a great feat versus that team. That's a good pass rush, man.
And look, teams do this on the opposite end. The Packers defense, Saquon Barkley is not taking over this football game. And for 3.5 quarters, he didn't take over this football game.
Jeff, how do you evaluate Kevin Petullo? I know he's like a hotbed conversation. I'm not trying to go down the road of like you have to say he's the greatest thing or he's the worst thing. I'm just trying to get he's a first-year play caller. He is. I think most people understand that there is an acclimation period to calling plays in the National Football League, even if he's not the biggest problem. 2 targets to AJ. Like sometimes it just feels like he's still finding his rhythm as a play caller, and it's really not all that good. How do you evaluate Kevin Petullo through the first 9 games of the year and maybe what he did last night?
Well, the Eagles don't have to worry about losing into a head coaching job this offseason. How's that?
Hey, they win the Super Bowl.
Hey, be careful if they win the Super Bowl. You might.
The New York Football Giants are taking Kevin Petullo.
Yeah, I'd be careful.
Hey, Kellen Moore looked like he made the right call going to Tyler Shuck on Sunday.
Yeah,
Tyler Shuck did not look that bad on Sunday.
No, I thought he looked
with the
pretty
limited
good,
amount of players he got.
Yeah, well, Tyler Shuck. I mean, that just goes.
He's not good, but it's.
Well, no, I mean, look, he's a young quarterback and he's got a lot to learn. But
is he older than Jalen? He's not older than Jalen.
He's old.
Tyler Shuck.
I don't know.
He's
if
like
pretty old.
25, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's younger than Jalen.
You know the stat that bothers me the most about the offense, I'd say, is that damn 3-and-out stat.
Oh, yeah, they're number one in that.
That's
And
crazy to me. Like that to me is like, what the heck? How the
That-
heck is this team?
Well, the only thing I would say about that is that's not a third down stat. That's a first and second down stat.
Yeah, right. Because they're not
correct.
running the ball as well.
They are in a lot of third and longs, and there were plays where even on that last drive before they decided to punt on the fourth and not punt on the 4th and 6. I'm just like, what are they doing? Like, they're making this way too complicated right now, and I don't know. There were a couple of drives in that fourth quarter in the second half, even. And look, I thought their offense moved the ball okay in the second half. I'm just like, what are they doing here? This is why it's 3rd and 12. Why are you making life so difficult for this quarterback right now? Why are you making life so difficult for these receivers? And I don't know. That's just me in the moment. Again, I'm going to rewatch a game today. So
Yeah, we got. I unfortunately have to
Yeah, I'm gonna
rewatch that
rewatch
thing
it,
as
too.
well. All right, here's the PFF is in, so we'll get these are unofficial, but Nakobe is the best defender, number one, followed by
yeah,
Jalen
good game.
Carter, Andrew Makuba, which I'm a little surprised. Not that he did anything wrong, but a little surprised he was that high, but he had a good game. Jaelan Phillips, number 4. I thought he had a tremendous game. 6 hurries, by the way, for
Wow.
Jaelan
Good.
Phillips.
Very good.
Micah had 7. Jalen Carter had 5. Moro Jomo had 5. So biggest pressure day for the Eagles this season.
Yeah.
Number 5 was Nolan Smith. The 5 worst: Jordan Davis, Byron Young, who only played 4 snaps, so throw him out. Brandon Graham only played 10 snaps. Jahad Campbell, in the rare bad football game, and I said this last, he did. Cooper DeJean did not play well.
Coverage wise, he definitely didn't play well either. Also, Quinyon Mitchell allowed just 2 yards after the catch, 24 passing yards. Jordan Love was 2 of 8.
I was surprised Quinyon didn't make the top 5, but he didn't make the top 5. But it was all around.
Did you guys see Christian Watson's tweet today when someone said, should Christian Watson have caught that pass to play? Quinyon got hurt, and he said yes.
I did not, but
I didn't see
The
that.
deep ball, yeah.
Well, that was he
I love
gave
Quinyon, but man, that he gets away with. He gets away with some games of football, man.
But you know that's
But you know what?
thing.
When you're a good football player, you get away with stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm just saying, objectively speaking, he does get away with.
No, you're right. He gets away with stuff, but Darrell Revis got away with stuff. It's
true.
Part of it. Part of the game.
Jordan Love, according to Next Gen Stats, pressured on 40.5% of his dropbacks. This is by far.
Wasn't he 0 for 6 when he was pressured?
Don't have that number, but probably.
Oh, you know what? I might have different.
He was 3 of 12 for 21 yards and was sacked 3 times when he was under pressure. So not good.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But guess what? Most quarterbacks aren't good when they're under pressure. So yeah, by far the best.
When he was blitzed, 0 for 3 with a sack. Yikes.
By far the best pass rushing performance by the Eagles this year.
Packers did not have when the Eagles blitzed, the Packers did not have a yard of offense.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The Eagles, Vic knows when to pull that thing out, man. He doesn't blitz often, but when he does, it's usually effective.
All right, Jeff, after that game, give me your one biggest point of optimism, I guess you could call it, and give me your one biggest concern about the Philadelphia Eagles right now in 25.
Offensively or just overall?
Overall.
Well, they got the inside track number 1 seed in the NFC right now. They still got to beat the Lions.
Inside track, yes. Inside track, you're right.
Yeah, that's what happens when you beat the teams that are in the mix. It feels like 2 games, even though it's 1, because you got the tiebreakers. But they beat the Lions. I can make that declaration. They're probably going to get the number 1 seed, all things considered. But
A lot of
again, there's a lot
football
of
left,
football left
but
to
you're
play.
right.
A lot of
They're
football.
in a good spot if
Yeah.
they beat the
Oh,
Lions.
don't sleep on the Chicago Bears. I know they're not as good as the Lions and the Packers, but they're ahead of the Packers in the standings right now.
I'm going to sleep on the Chicago Bears. Yeah, they're not.
Well, the
Come on.
Eagles, I think Eagles should beat the Chicago Bears, but
They will beat the Bears. Come on. They're not ready.
the Bears
Nice
got a tougher
story.
schedule coming up. So
Yeah, they
Jeff,
got
what's
to
your
play
biggest
the Lions.
concern?
The
my
Bears
biggest
are a nice
concern,
story. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Biggest concern. Go ahead.
my biggest concern, I think it's going to change. This is probably more of a weekly thing. They got to get this run game more consistent, but I think that will change. I do.
Well, they've
I just
played
think
9
they're too
games. They've
good
only really ran successfully in one game. I mean,
against the team that fired its head coach and probably shouldn't have his defense coordinator
that's what I
fired his
mean.
too.
We
Are
can
you
talk
sure it's
about
going to
Brian
change, or you
Daboll.
just using some of the history there to boost it? I don't know. I mean, I just try and go off
They were
25.
under. Saquon was under 3 yards a carry again.
John, can you answer the same question I asked Jeff? Your biggest point of optimism, I guess you could say, and then your biggest concern?
My biggest point of optimism is all the defense and Jalen Phillips being added to the defense. I think it's perfect.
That was the right move.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect fit. My biggest concern remains the untrusting. I'm making up words now because I'm tired. They don't trust the quarterback. And that has created a manifest where the receivers are frustrated because they've cut the quarterback off at the knees.
This is we're going to play our hypothetical. And I know people don't like to hear this guy's name, but I'm going to say it. If Justin Herbert was the Eagles quarterback, would the Eagles trust him? I don't know.
Yeah, they would. Yes, they would. That's simple for me. Yes. And they would be secretly high-fiving in the top floor of the NovaCare complex.
Oh, man, Johnny Mac.
I mean, they do like quarterbacks like that.
Everybody's mad at me. Now you guys can be mad at John. Stop being mad at me, all you nerds.
Well, they would. I mean, they freaking – yeah. I'm talking just the coaches. Just the coaches. Would be
Here's
thrilled.
the thing, though. Do they win like they do?
No, they don't win as much. No.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
So this is why I don't like football now because this is why I don't like football. People do not like winning.
No, they don't. They don't.
I know, but why do we immediately go to if you had just for the sake of the conversation, if you had somebody who could move the football through the air better, why does that equate to not as many wins? That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute.
What do you mean? Because history says it. The more you throw the ball, the more you're going to lose.
Correct. It happens to ask the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, when you're throwing the ball, the two most important stats, and Nick is 1,000% right. Turnover ratio, explosive play rate. If you win them both, you're going to win the game. If you win the turnover ratio, you're going to win the game a significant amount of time.
The Eagles were tied in the turnover ratio, and they won the explosive.
Yeah, I just don't like the. I mean, look, I think this team is a different team. I mean, I can't just use.
Unfortunately, now football is who can put up the most gaudy stats because I like fantasy football, and did my player prop hit? I hate it. It sucks.
Somebody accused me of that last night. I'm like, dude, I don't.
I don't.
Well, you're reminding me of a sports bettor. You really don't.
By the way, we have to do a show. Nobody's going to watch that show, but we have to do a show because gambling is ruining professional sports. And now we got a baseball scandal. We already got a basketball scandal. I guarantee
you know how easy it is to throw a first pitch ball in baseball when you know that's a thing. Like
there's going to be an NFL scandal.
Oh
yeah, well there kind of was already.
Yeah, guys betting on games, but
guys betting on games.
Did you guys see the video of the pitcher who got indicted and he struck a dude out? And after the dude swings at a meatball fastball, he goes, "Fuck."
Yeah.
The dude who got indicted. I'm like, I don't know if that's what happened there, but it's certainly a funny video given the context.
My favorite gambling thing this whole season, and Zander, I know you saw this because I was watching it live when the Chauncey Billups all that stuff is coming out. Terry Rozier, Chauncey Phillips on the bottom right corner. ESPN bet have a problem.
I know.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I know.
I'm like, oh my God, take
Guys,
that
it wasn't
off.
that long ago that speaking of betting, speaking of sports lines on ESPN was forbidden. They didn't even touch it. They
It
didn't
was
go
like
they
near
5
it.
years ago.
It was not
I
long
think
ago.
I
Everybody
think
is
it was
so
19. This all opened up.
everybody is so damn greedy. I mean, this was the worst decision in the history of pro sports. Now there was always going to be gambling, but to allow it to this level and to think it's not going to create issues is, boy, some of the highest level of naivete I've ever seen in my life.
I had he wasn't on the NFL team, but I had an editor who liked to gamble. And I remember he got very upset over, I think the Eagles covered or something because he bet on the game. And I said, dude, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Well, you should care. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't watch football for that reason.
A lot of
I
people
just
do, though,
don't.
man. That's why they're.
I know a lot of people
they're
do, and that's
putting-
okay.
they're putting so
I
much
just don't.
viewership. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a complex conversation.
I mean,
Guys,
there's
I'm
a
gonna
reason
rattle
why
off
the
a couple
NFL is a
supers.
behemoth.
Yeah, Jeff, I got a couple supers to get to. I want to keep you here for them. All right, we're gonna rattle them off.
right.
I'll get your guys' opinions on them. Philly Don, what's up, Philly Don? It starts with the O line, and the O line is struggling in the run game. I agree, but I don't think they were.
He's not
as
wrong.
bad. What's that?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I think it's a bunch of things with the running game. Certainly, the offensive line's part of it. But I gave you the defense. Here's the top 5 offensive players for the Eagles yesterday from PFF. Fred Johnson, Big Fred, doing the dirty.
Good player.
Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson. What a tough guy Lane Johnson is. Devontae Smith, Brett Toth. 4 of the top 5 offensive linemen.
I thought Brett Toth had a good game last night too.
Yeah, he's playing great, man.
Yeah, he's
good,
playing good.
good story. I'm happy for Brett because he got shit on a lot, and he's playing.
Well, I
well.
mean, when Stoutland's got some time to prepare him, he's had much better outings.
I have a close friend who went to Army and he served, and man, does he love Brett Toth. Like he said, I'm literally an Eagles fan because of Brett Toth, and I'm like that's awesome. Like he'll wear his Army hat proudly. He has a Brett Toth jersey.
By the way,
It's like,
speaking of that, happy Veterans Day to all the great veterans out there who served this nation.
Yeah.
Yesterday, happy birthday to the Marines, 250 years. Happy Veterans Day today. Thank you for
107 years since the armistice was signed in World War I.
Wow, great stat. Jeff, you got stats on everything, man, not just sports.
I'm a history guy. I respect a lot of these days. And I was always like, when I was a kid, I was always like fascinated on like how certain holidays came to be and why this day is significant, etc. So yeah.
There you go. Love it. Kyle Kokorski says, I'm more impressed with the defense. Detroit rolling in this week. Can't play the same this week. I happen to agree with that. They're going to obviously have to change.
Oh, yeah. You can't play the same.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have to.
They
and they
like
will.
That's
Detroit, what I mean.
They're going to lose.
They play differently when games have personalities. They play differently. They will play differently.
And we haven't really seen this team play Jared Goff recently. Since what? Maybe 22? This is the last time?
The key to beating Detroit is speed them up, get them off the spots. And all of a sudden, the Eagles' pass rush looks pretty good. So,
John, you said that thing about maybe they're going to play where they make Jahmyr Gibbs pass block stuff. I think that's something to keep an eye on there. I think you're right on with that. Here's Terrence. What's up, Terrence? Hurts had one bad turnover season, and now they don't trust him. I love the Eagles. LOL. I don't know if it's that or what it was, but it's true.
Yeah, well, it was. It bled over till the start of last season. People forget. So he had one bad turnover season.
He had like 22 turnovers. I think it was like 14 games. I'm like, turnover machine.
Well,
and then
remember the Brazil game when he had like 4 turnover-worthy throws.
Yep.
And then they had the Tampa game, which was a shit show, but that had more to do with AJ wasn't there, Devontae wasn't there, Lane wasn't there, which I thought that was incredibly unfair because if they don't have those 3 players, they're going to lose. No surprise. And they turned it over too much and they scaled it back. And that was the moment. And I thought it was unfair. Right. I said it at that moment. I thought it was unfair. But they won.
Yeah. A couple more
So,
here. Right on the bench.
I'm adding up
Riding the
these
bench
numbers, by the
says-
way, of Hurts.
Go ahead,
Oh, go
Jeff.
ahead, Zander.
Right
I'm adding up these numbers so you can go. Yeah.
Right on the bench says, is there a disconnect with Howie and coaches with Jalen versus Laurie? Coaches don't trust him, and Hurts doesn't trust the coaches, in my opinion. Unreal, they're the 1 seed. Interesting question.
I could you put that up again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Howie and coaches with Jalen versus with
Versus the
Laurie.
owner?
Well, I think they're saying Howie and the coaches versus how they handled Jalen versus Laurie.
No, well, I think Jeffrey Lurie wants a more high volume passing offense, but he's accepting because they win.
I mean, look, this is the ultimate Jalen Hurts stat you should care about. Since week 6, since their bye week of last year, Jalen Hurts has 57 touchdowns to 7 giveaways. You are going to win a lot of football games like that. I don't care how risk averse they are.
That is correct.
That's a big number. Roll Philly says Darnold is playing great and Hurts hasn't been good, but Hurts only has one less pass touchdown and 5 less picks, and he's got more pass attempts. Yeah, but not all pass attempts are created equal, but whatever.
Hey, Sam Darnold's a good player. Let's call a spade a
I
spade.
think his point is that Jalen's playing better than Darnold because he's got the less picks. But like, let's be real, Jalen's not throwing the ball into the spots. That
No, he's not.
No.
You know, I mean, look, I'm not discrediting Hurts. It's great the 1 interception, but I don't think you can view that just off of attempts and say, hey, well, Jalen's having a better year.
You know, the biggest threat to the Eagles in home field is the Seattle Seahawks because, 1, they don't play each other.
There's like 5 guys in the world that can foot the football in the windows that Sam does. And they're, you're going to see one of them this weekend.
By the way, that Seattle defense is really freaking good.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mike McDonald's a good coach.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, by the way, 5th in the NFL in passer rating, highest passer rating through 9 games out of any quarterback in Eagles history.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's the dumb.
Risk averse works.
Yeah,
Right.
good stuff. All right, Jeff, your final thought, and then I want to get the final thought from John. I'll let you get out of here, Jeff. Appreciate you joining in today, second day in a row. As always, got to get your post game. Your final thought here on the Eagles win over the Packers, 10-7. Low scoring bout, obviously.
I like it how I started it. A win is a win is a win is a win is a win. And
you got to enjoy those NFL wins. They're tough to come by. No.
I mean, today's a great day for talking about a win. If you're gonna talk about the win so negatively, today is a good day to talk about it. But
you celebrate a win and you complain about it. Welcome to
Philadelphia. I wrote it in my overreactions. Nick Sirianni does not have to apologize.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I haven't read it yet, but I'll give credit to David Murphy because his column today was the Eagles have mastered winning games that defy conventional wisdom, which is a perfect title. That's what they do. Yeah. You're not supposed to be able to win this way, but they constantly win this way.
Yeah.